Hello and welcome to the first of this week's problems. This week we've got a torch costing £7.65. So I represent that with this bar here. Then we've got two batteries. We can see them in the picture, but I'm going to represent them here. I've got my two batteries. Now we don't know how much they cost, but we do know it costs £8.75 altogether. So these three things cost £8.75. My torch here, and my two batteries. Now you should be able to see from the bar model that I should be able to work out how much the two batteries cost by doing a calculation involving these two numbers. Once I've worked out what two batteries cost, I should then be able to split them to work out how much one battery costs. And this is where the bar can come in handy, because we look at it, and once we've got our answer in here and our answer in here, these three bars, because they're the same length as this one big bar on the bottom, they are worth the same. So my £7.65 plus my answer for here and my answer for here should add up to make £8.75. If it doesn't, then something's gone wrong somewhere and I need to go back and I need to check my working out and I need to check and see what it is that I've done wrong. Next we've got a problem. I'm not quite sure why two matchsticks have been placed out on a table along with three bottle tops, but somebody has done it. And they want to know how many bottle tops have the same length as 50 matchsticks. So if we scale this up, we could have two matchsticks scaled up to 50, then we could work out how much each one would be representing, and then we can transfer that amount down here. Now that's quite a tricky bar model to understand, so you might do it a different way. You might think, well, if I've got two matchsticks in my picture, and that makes three bottle tops, well, 2 times what would give me 50 matchsticks, and I multiply my 3 by the same amount to keep the ratio the same. So just go over that again. We've got two matchsticks here, but if I had 50 matchsticks instead, I'd have to multiply that two matchsticks by what number? And because the ratio is always going to stay the same, 3 to 2, I'd get my 3 matchsticks, multiply that by the same number that I've multiplied here, and I'll have my answer here. It should tell me how many matchsticks I've got. Now this is a problem that I think really lends itself to the use of the bar model, so we can see the comparative amounts that we've got. So we've got Hassan, he's buying a notebook and a pen up here for £10 and 10p. So notebook and a pen, £10 and 10p. Kate, she buys a notebook, but she buys 2 pens. So I've drawn the same diagram underneath with my notebook the same size and my pen the same size as the diagram above it, keeping it in lines with the grids on my paper. But because she spent a little bit more, the larger bar extends that a little bit further, okay, because she's got the extra pen on. So now we've got two numbers that we can compare to each other. We've got our £1.10. We've got our £1.45. So we can work out the difference between those two bars. And the only difference between these two bars is this pen here. So once I work out the difference between this number and this number, that value is the value of this pen here. And because this pen is the same price as this pen, I can then fill this bar in. And because I've filled this bar in, I can fill this bar in here. And once I've got this bar in here, I've got back with my basic bar model structure of one number, another number there, and I can do a calculation between these two numbers to work out what the remaining number is here. And then the notebook and the pen added together should make £1.10. So just to go over that again, you've got £1.10 for a notebook and a pen, £1.45 for a notebook and 2 pens. The only difference between these two amounts and the bars is the pen here. So if I work out the difference between this amount and this amount, it will tell me how much this pen has cost extra. And because this pen is the same as this pen, I can fill this bar in, then this bar, then I will have two numbers and I can use those to find the difference, which is the notebook. And obviously once I've found the notebook, I have solved my problem. Final question is all about a test score, which we've got written as a fraction. If we write 40 out of 80, and then we've got 40% in the same test. So there's a few ways we could do it. One way, you could think, well, 40 out of 80, I know that 4 out of 8, if I cancel off the 2 zeros, 4 out of 8, well, if I had 4 out of 8 pieces, I know I would have a half. And 40%, well, you might just know that 50% is a half, so you might be able to work out that it's Hassan who scores more. If you need to use the bar model though, or you want to use it just to check, then I've drawn it out underneath. I've divided it into 10 pieces because I know that 80 is obviously a multiple of 10, and I know that 100% is a multiple of 10 as well. So I've split it into 8 pieces. Now Hassan at the top, he got 40 out of 80. So my 80 marks have been divided into 10 pieces, which means that each block that I've drawn is worth 8 marks, because 80 divided by 10 is 8. So I've got an 8 in each block. Now he got 40 out of 80 on his test. So if I know my times tables, I should know that 40 is made up of 5 8s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths are 40. So Hassan scored this amount in his test, which as you can see is half. So it's reaffirming the calculation I've done up here. So we don't always have to use the bar model to work out the answer. We can use it to check our answers to make sure that we're absolutely spot on and we're confident that we have got it right. So here is Hassan's score, which is half, or it's 40 out of 80, or 50%. There. Now we look at Kate underneath. She's got 40% in the same test. Now here we've got 100% at the bottom. It's been divided into 10 pieces, so each piece is worth 10%. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. So as you can see, Hassan has quite clearly scored more on the same test. Now you might have been able to work out who got the highest score without doing all of this calculation. However, the important part with this question isn't the answer so much as who got the highest score, although you do need to get that right. It's the explain how you know part. Because if you just circle Hassan or circle Kate in a test, you don't get a mark for that. You get your mark for explaining how you know. So you need to show that Hassan has scored half marks and that Kate has scored 40%, and you need to show you understand that 40% is less than half. So the bar model shows that very clearly. If you did this, then you would get a mark for showing how you knew. You might also have to explain that you knew that 40% is less than 50%, and 50% equals a half. You just need to show that you understand the relationship between the fraction and the percentage to show that you understand who gets the highest mark and that you haven't just guessed, because you've obviously got a 50-50 chance of doing it. I hope these videos have helped. Good luck. In the next couple of weeks we'll start to do the homework sheet that doesn't have the bar models drawn on, but we'll still be producing the videos to help you where we show you the different bar models.